Light got disconnected. All right. I think we're back live here. Try to get this all set up here. Yes, we are back live. So apologies for the technical delays there, but had some sort of issue with our streaming provider there. But Chris, we look at the starting lineup on screen here, and we got a few drivers. We kind of already talked about most of these drivers anyway, but as the pace car is about to roll off, Jeff Chandler, our pole setter, Lane Allen is a second, and then you got Winter, Palicki, Coy, Terrell, Flanagan, Watts, Rupert, and Staubitz as we are about ready to take the green here at Circuit of the Americas for the very first time in Full Throttle Sim Racing. Slow down to the start-finish line, and green flag is out here at Circuit of the Americas. Jeff Chandler with a good jump going into turn one, Chris.
Turn one is a treacherous corner, and these guys all seem to be getting through it pretty decently here.
Everybody doing a great job back through here, but it's a slow trudge. It's like a, what do you want to call it? Like a clogged artery, Chris. I mean, these guys barely getting through there, but good job, everybody, I think.
And that's certainly difficult to do, going through not only turn one, but the S's with cars alongside of you. Any road racer will tell you, you don't want to have a car on your outside there.
Exactly right, Chris. The stream back up and functional, so just bear with us for just a second. Chris, if you could just take over for just a second while I get these links back up, and should be good to go.
And actually, I am in the midst of my own technical issues, so I'm trying to get back up as well.
All right, no big deal there. We are watching Jeff Chandler work his way through the field, work his way at the top of the field here, and continuing to move forward in the race here. Away.
Not at all. This is a track where track position and being able to keep the car in front of you in your eyesight is a huge advantage, and that's something that Lane Allen's going to have to be doing here with Jeff Chandler, because you don't want anyone to get away from you. It's a lot harder to catch someone than it is to just maintain pace with them.
Yeah, exactly right, Chris. You brought up a very good point here, but these guys are doing a very, very good job right now. Still haven't had anybody go off track right now, it looks like, but Andrew Palicki doing a great job up in the top three. All right, now we got everything going again. So right now, after lap number one, Jeff Chandler leading with Andrew Palicki, or sorry, Lane Allen in second, Palicki in third, Terrell fourth, Winter fifth, Watts, Coy, Flanagan, and Staubitz, who are battling back in eighth place right now, going through that treacherous turn number one. Dale Nearad, and then that's your top 10. Rupert has dropped 2 spots since the start of the race. We got some drivers already kind of struggling. Bill Benedict electing to start from pits. Troy Torgerson back there, he's dropped 22 spots. Looks like he's got some damage on the rear end, so we'll have to see what happened to Troy Torgerson. It looks like him and Randy McCann. So here we go. So there's Troy Torgerson there, and oh, it looks like Greg Holt spun, and then it looks like maybe yeah, it looks like everybody just kind of came together there as the 32 was trying to get out of the way. And the 6 gets involved, the 71 involved. So a little bit of a pileup here on the first lap, Chris.
It certainly is. I mean, these guys are doing everything they can to be able to maintain position. And this is some of the first times that these guys have had drivers on their outside in some of these corners.
Jeff Chandler continuing to lead. We jump on board Andrew Palicki. And Chris, they're going through the this treacherous section of the track, and you see to turn in there, gets a good run through the middle section there, but continue just a little bit missing those apexes, Chris. And these cars very difficult to slow down, very difficult to get these things to turn. Doing a good job behind him. Bobby Terrell is in 4th place. He has moved up 2 spots. But Mike Watts, we talked about him in our pre-race coverage. Mike Watts, one of those road course, drives LMP2s in our sports car series. He is up 3 spots into 5th place, and he is chasing down Bobby Terrell for 4th right now.
He certainly is swinging those corners wide like that. But Jared, I think they're just using as much racetrack as they can here. That may be the quickest way around this track.
And you look at these guys. Jeff Winter has been the negative beneficiary, if you will. He's dropped 3 spots here on him. And these guys are a little bit of a battle here, as Jeff Winter is going to go to the outside, or Richie Coy is going to duck to the inside of Jeff Winter, heading into the S's. Not really a passing zone, but Richie Coy is going to make it work there. But the 19 car is starting to move back forward. Staubitz is in this battle. We talked to him in the pre-race. I'm not sure if anybody got to hear it, but he said he was going to be aggressive on the curbs at the beginning. He was going to take it easy.
Take it easy, he said, but it's not what he's doing. As he is all over Jeff Winter in that 30 car. He's trying to do whatever he can. He's getting a little held up here.
And you look at Donnie Staubitz there. Let's take a look at our time deltas here. We don't have a lot of information yet, but that gap has come down quite a bit from Donnie Staubitz. Let's flip this over as we jump on. Gap has already come down a second in 1 lap, so Jeff Winter already got the 99 all over the back as we head down the back straightaway here. .178 miles an hour in 4th gear. Hard on the brakes. Great braking for the 99. Trying to outbrake the 30, and the 30 is going to run wide anyway. Right ahead of them, Richie Coy getting around Mike Watts. And then Jeff Winter able to salvage that thing and gets back in front of the 99. Good battle right through here.
It certainly is. You can see the 99 going to try to go right back underneath him and attack Jeff Winter, but not able to do it. It's just because this track is so difficult, and you have to take such a different line here than the guy in front of you to be able to make that pass. And really, it's just incredibly difficult here to pass Jared.
But Donnie Staubitz doing a good job. Dale Nearad right behind him. Joe Flanagan got a little loose, and he's lost a couple positions, but the number 53, who runs part-time, his last race was at Talladega, and now he's back out here for circuit, going all week long at this track, so we expect him to kind of move forward. Looking back a little bit further, we got a quartet of drivers, whatever's after 5 drivers that moved up 6 spots. Brian Helm, TJ Bartel, Wayne Grossi, Chad Lang, and Rob's my dark horse pick are all up 6 places. That's 15th through 19th right now.
Yeah, that's definitely an incredible run. It's more incredible that it all made up so many positions, because it's one thing for one of them to, but all of them, one right after another, these guys are kind of just following each other through the pack.
Matt Geringer up 12 spots. He locks it up, gets around Casey Mullen the hard way, put him up another spot. Randy McCanny trying to gain some time back. He lost 5 spots. Now remember, he got that damage on the opening lap because of the contact with the 32 and the 96, or the 98, apologies. And Greg Holt is back in this gaggle. This is where the action is, Chris. Holt leading this charge. Jason Spear right on his back bumper. Ralph Nolan, John Held, Troy Torges, and Rachel Hunt. I mean, there is about 15 cars all in this section here.
Interesting to watch how these guys are just kind of content to play follow the leader at the moment here, which is really kind of impressive of these guys.
Somebody spun.
Ground gets a little bit off track. He'll gather it back up, but he's going to drop to the end of this field at the moment.
Ralph Nolan's been out. Calls baseball games. I was talking to Ralph. He calls local high school and college baseball games. Somebody locking up. That's Tracy Powers going onto the back straightaway there. As at the end of their season's coming there. But at the same time, while all that was going, Andrew Palicki got off course, but he has gotten that thing gone again. But unfortunately, Coy is hounding the 96 car. Terrell's already gotten around him. Lane Allen and Jeff Chandler, though, these guys have checked out, Chris. Already a 10-second lead, 4 laps into this race.
It certainly has, but the one thing that really hasn't changed is the gap between Chandler and Allen. It's pretty much stayed at 1 second through the entire race so far. News for that number 14 car, because he's just kind of watching what happens with Jeff Chandler, and maybe he's just waiting for an opportunity to get around him if Chandler makes a mistake.
Yeah, you got a really good point. And the other thing, too, is Jeff Chandler has that win. Now, he needs all the points he can get. He needs to finish in the top 25. We know he's going to miss races. He's not going to be at Charlotte. He will be earlier this week. But Lane Allen's a driver that's in the top 15 in points, right, or top 16 in points right now. But a win, I mean, that would just solidify his position. We know he wants one. He finished second at Daytona at the opening race of the year and has been hovering inside that top 10, 15 all season. And he is closing the gap.
He certainly is. Throughout the S's, he seems to be the one that's a little bit quicker, but that could be just that number 31 car is really trying to take it easy through there. Really, where it seems that Chandler's able to make up most of his time is coming out of the backstretch. So we'll have to keep an eye and see if he's able to maintain that lead or even grow it going down this long backstretch.
Lane Allen is there. He gained half a second in sector number 2, and now he is right there. It's about a half a second difference. In the background, you can see a lot of battling going on, but we're going to stick with the lead group right now as we go on board the 14 of Lane Allen, just getting off the corner, just a little wheel spin. Oh, and Jeff Chandler gets loose. He's got loose, excuse me, and Jeff Chandler is going to give up the lead. He got in there a little bit too deep, Chris, and now Lane Allen's up front.
And just like that, Chandler goes from having the second lead over Allen to being just that one little slip up there cost him so much time. Now he's got to do the reeling back in as Allen has now lead over Chandler in that 31. But that 14 definitely looking pretty consistent. It's early going here, able to track down and really pass our leader pretty easily. Thanks.
To say is, you know, Jeff Chandler did a great job holding on to that thing. That thing was sliding. These cars are very difficult once they start sliding. They just want to keep sliding, do a slow, lazy spin. And he did a very good job holding on to that thing, because the last thing either of these drivers want to do, they don't want to wreck each other out. They're looking at good finishes tonight if they can just keep the cars on the track, both heads up driving there. But Lane Allen, it's our lead change on a road course until pit stops this week at Cota. But right now, Lane Allen taking over the lead. Further back, we got to check in on Bobby Terrell and Richie Coy place, and Richie Coy has started to reel in Bobby Terrell. Lost some time on the start, but he is starting to reel in that 3 machine. Mike Watts has got Andrew Palicki back all over him. He got around Palicki, and now Palicki is starting to chase back down on that 3 machine. Staubitz, the driver we talked to in the beginning of the race, again, apologize that some of you guys missed that interview. It is on YouTube, though. I did confirm, but Donnie Staubitz is up 3 spots. Jeff Winter continuing to drop, and I think Jeff Winter just looking to stay on the tracks tonight.
Certainly, there's a big difference between making a fast lap and being consistent here at Circuit of the Americas. Just because of how difficult this track is, you can make it maybe 1 or 2 top race, Jared. Behind
this group, there's another 3-car battle. Tony Solari has just gotten by Kevin Rupert, put him up 9 spots in the 74 machine. Tony moving that car. And Flanagan, these guys all run road courses, and we got somebody locking up the brakes hard in front of him. That was Dale. But we got some great battling on the track tonight.
We certainly do, and this track is all about being able to be consistent and throughout these corners and how you get off of them. And a lot of guys really able to get the power out of the corner a little bit better than others, and you can really see it there. But the issue with that is that means they've got to slow down that much more because they're carrying that much more speed than the drivers in front of 3-car of Dale Nearad right there. And we checked back in on our leaders, and Jeff Chandler started to make some inroads, and he got really, really deep on the brakes and lost 0.3 of a second, and just got in there a little bit deep, and now he's lost all that time again. Lane Allen really just being smooth out here tonight, and he has opened up that gap to 90 seconds here over Jeff Chandler. He certainly has, and that's one of the advantages to being the leader. You can kind of just run your race until you get pressured from behind, and that's what is kind of showing here between Allen and Chandler. Is when Chandler started getting the pressure from Allen, that's when he made his mistake. So it'll be interesting to see if he can kind of repay the favor to Allen later on in this race. So just holding steady. You see the sector times at the bottom. So we'll keep an eye on this battle, but let's go back to some of these other battles on the track. That's Tony Solari. He's finally opened up the gap on Kevin Rupert and Joe Flanagan. So that battle kind of has come to a conclusion there. Bernard Persons pulled away from Brian Helm, but Brian Helm is, Stephen Vrooman. Brian Helm has gotten around Vrooman, and he is up 7 spots. Helm, not necessarily what he would consider a road racer, but he always had a good points night, and that 26 car continuing to move forward here tonight. He certainly is, and you mentioned that he may not be a road course racer, but he doesn't need to be. He just needs to be consistent, and that's what's going to be able to get him those valuable points here tonight. And this isn't like a typical mile and a half or short track race. You're not going to have cautions here to bunch all these cars back up. Now it's all on strategy and track position and how you're able to make up time to those lead cars.
And then another driver, and I just want to give a shout out, TJ Bartel. He is an old school driver, and TJ, I raced with him in the other series, have learned a lot from, really enjoy racing with him, but he will be the first to say the road courses are not his thing, and sometimes it's hard for him to find the rhythm. But tonight he is in 16th place, and I think if TJ finished 16th place tonight, I think he would be tickled pink, because that 88 Shell Pennzoil machine, 15th place here in that 88, he's pulled away from Chad Lang and Wayne Grossi, his team owner, and man, the 88 doing a really good job out there,
Absolutely. This track is really good to those that are just getting seat time and practicing. So a lot of these drivers spending a lot of time just trying to get comfortable with the road course, just because it's not something they're used to. It's a little bit more difficult. You know, a lot of guys need the extra practice for these type of races, and really there's no better place to start than than Circuit of the Americas, just because it's probably a track on the circuit. And we've got road courses coming up back to back here. So these guys are going to be getting used to turning left and right pretty frequently.
Big battle for 19th, 20th, 21st, 22nd. It's Gehringer, Shoemaker, and McMullen. And Shoemaker tried to pass Gehringer, and they both kind of slowed each other down. And Case and Mullen going to take massive advantage and get by both of them. And that's going to bring Schultz and McCanny right to the back bumper of this battle. Schultz had to start at the tail end of the longest line because of a penalty. So he's up 7 spots, but technically he's up about, or down 7 spots, but technically he's up about 21 spots. Oh, Gehringer clips the turtle. He's going to get loose, holds on to the machine, but he's going to lose a ton of time in the 11 car, because that's a slowdown penalty right there.
It certainly is, and that'll cost him all those positions pretty much. As he'll have to give up that time that he gains by cutting the course there.
Then we look further back, 24th, Gary Griffith. He's holding off Tracy Powers for the battle for the top 15. Greg Holt, who was involved in that early incident, he's got that car straightened out. Probably not handling as well as he wants it to right now, but he is right now in 26th position. We look at Brian Bliss holding off Troy Torgerson. Torgerson involved in that opening lap incident. He has made his way from dead last up to 28th. And Troy, tough break. I mean, he started in the top 15 and lost a lot of time, but he is starting to claw back right on the back of that number 18. And Chris, we see a lot of drivers out here with some damage here tonight.
Absolutely. This track is known for being a little bit treacherous. There's several guys that are going off track following along. Jason Spear, he is all over the track, using up inside and outside in the rear of the field here, just not the night that he's looking for. But up front, Chandler's cut that lead down quite significantly again.
Chandler and Lane Allen, these guys have opened up the gap. They're still racing each other, but Lane Allen is not letting, or Jeff Chandler is not letting Lane Allen out of his sights right now. These guys very smooth. We have seen Jeff Chandler make a couple mistakes. Lane Allen just been a little bit more consistently better. Not as fast, but just a little bit more consistent than Jeff Chandler so far in this race, Chris. But these guys are opening up a big gap, and that's huge when these pit stops start coming down.
Well, we talked about it already. The pit strategy here, these guys can roughly get around 18, 19, 20 laps, depending on how hard they're pushing it. So you can potentially make it on one stop here, Jared. But strategy may come into play as the tire fall off here is pretty significant. We may have guys end up taking 2 stops.
Chandler with a great run out of turn 11 here. He's going to get a run down the back straightaway, Chris. And Lane Allen, is he going to cover that off? He's going to cover it a little bit, but he can't do much. Jeff Chandler's going to dive down the inside.
All about braking in this corner. Lane Allen going to dive down to try to pinch off Jeff Chandler in that 31, and he's able to do so and maintain the lead here going into this next corner. And that's a little bit more of an advantage for him in that 14 machine, as he's able to pull right back in front of Chandler in that 31.
What a move by Lane Allen. I thought that would be done and dusted. Jeff Chandler had the advantage, but just couldn't get the throttle down in the 14. keep him in the lead here, Lane Allen. But Jeff Chandler's not making it easy. We got Sure Williford out here watching, and he said Lane is as smooth as a gravy sandwich. So there you go. And boy, he is showing it right now. Jeff Chandler, though, putting all the heat. He is turning up the heat on that grill, on that gravy sandwich.
Certainly the 14 cannot get lax at any point on this track, because if he does, Jeff Chandler is there. He wants to get back up here and lead as many laps as possible. We talked about it. He needs the points because we know he's going to miss races in the future. That means he wants to get up there and lead not just one lap, but as many as he can, in hopes to get the bonus point for leading the most laps.
And we bring up the track map, and you see the first and second guys, they're going through turn one. The third and fourth guys are just crossing the start-finish line. We do have one driver out, Josh Mayu. You can see that basically from 19th all the way to 34th is pretty much a straight line all the way down, especially from 26th to 34th. So we got some drivers that are going to be fighting for positions, and these guys that are in the lead at some point in time in this race, they're going to catch the tail end of this field, and that's going to make things even more interesting. But, Chris, I've covered a lot of road course races. I love road course races. I can't say that I've ever seen here at FTSR we've had such a great battle for the lead, especially this early in the run.
It's been interesting to watch for sure. The 14 did make a mistake coming in a little bit sideways, but really was able to maintain the lead, and thanks in part to Jeff Chandler doing the exact same thing.
Jeff Chandler is so much better in this turn 6-7 sequence here, and you can see there on the sector times he was able to bring some time back in, and he gets such a good run down the back straightaway, but he just can't seem to get there at the end. Lane Allen just able to drive it in just a little bit deeper than the 31 right now.
He's certainly able to, and looking at lap times, these guys have been pretty consistent over the last few laps, really losing almost, well, you know, it looks like they've been pretty consistent, right at 2 minutes, 18 seconds, and roughly 3/10 here. But that's a good bit off of the very first few laps here where they were running 2:16s.
These guys, both Lane Allen and Jeff Chandler, the only drivers that have hit the 215s in race trim so far. Everybody else is at least the 217, 218, mostly 220s throughout the field here tonight. But right now, Lane Allen's got his hands full. He can't relax. And Chris, I love road course this week at this track, but how is it when you're out in front or even just running 9th or 10th on the track and you got somebody breathing down your neck? How much harder does that make it?
Well, at that point, you've got to worry about not only your brake zones and brake points on the track, but the person behind you. If they're able to be a little bit more aggressive getting into the corner than you, you may end up with a bumper, and it'll feel very similar to short track racing here, issue you have to worry about. But you also don't want to do a little bit of under braking yourself or driving too deep into the corner, because then you'll end up getting yourself wheel hopping and sliding all over the place. So it's a little bit of a give and take here. You got to be sure that you're actually watching that mirror just as much as in front of you, and really it takes a lot more concentration than you would think a mile and a half or even a short track here. But it's a hard track, but it's one that I personally find enjoyable. Just after being on it for so long, you can kind of really get a feel for exactly what it is that you need to do to make yourself faster, and you kind of get into a rhythm here, so you just got to make sure that you don't get out of that rhythm.
And when you look back at some of these other battles that are going on, Richie Coy is going to make a big move into Bobby Terrell here. He's going to make it stick going on to the back straightaway. So Richie Coy, he's going to move up to third spot in that number 19 vehicle, 14 seconds off the pace, but he's been actually one of the quicker drivers on the track. We bring up the lap history. Bobby Terrell's going to try the undercut down the back straightaway, though, Chris.
He certainly is. He's going to dive down just a little bit more, decides to think better of it, and let Coy take the preferred groove going into that corner, and just right now perfectly content with riding behind the 19 machine.
And you look at Coy, he has actually been about a tenth to about a half a second quicker than Jeff Chandler. I mean, he's 13 seconds back. It's going to be a difficult trudge for him to make the time back up after he lost so much on the opening laps there. But Richie Coy is one of the faster drivers on the track. Lane Allen and Jeff Chandler just both did 218s, though, so that is going to open up that gap just a little bit thanks to those passes there. But Richie Coy up to third place. Now Bobby Terrell and his teammate Mike Watts are right behind each other now, 4th and 5th on the track, with Politsky up into 6th place. He's starting to chase back down Mike Watts after starting in 4th place.
Yeah, trying to get back up and make up the position a little bit slower than he probably would like, but you know, at least he's still up in this top 10 battling here. And this is really a great showing by these drivers, because a lot of these guys wouldn't be necessarily road course drivers, so they're making the most out of the situation.
For sure. And talk about a guy that's making the most out of a situation. Tony Solari. He did not qualify good and qualified back in 19th, but the 74 machine has now moved on to the back bumper of Jeff Winter. That's a battle for 7th. He's gotten around Dale Nearad, he's gotten around Donnie Staubitz, and he's gotten around Kevin Rupert, and the 74 machine is on a mission. Now, he's teammates to Richie Coy, so I'm sure they're running something very similar there in that machine, but Tony Solari putting on a show. He hasn't had a great race in Cup. He's been consistent, but he's been bit by some bad luck, and the 74 starting to move forward here.
He certainly is the hard charger of the field so far, gaining 11 positions. The next closest person is Matthew Geringer, back in 23rd place, who's made up 9 positions. So he's definitely putting on a show here in this number 74 machine, trying to prove that you don't have to have the best qualifying effort as long as you can bring it home in the race.
And they both hit and then maybe a little contact. Donnie Staubitz might have gotten the back of him, couldn't tell there, but definitely some contact. And Tony Solari is going to go ahead and go down the inside. He's going to make that pass with ease on Jeff Winter heading into the turn 9.
And he got a little bit of help there by that Donnie Staubitz, as Donnie was able to push him through the corner there, trying to tell him, go up and hurry up and make this pass. And that's exactly what happened.
Jeff Winter going to lose out there. He's going to lose all 3 of those positions. So Jeff Winter drops from 7th to 10th in one section of corner. Behind him, Donnie Staubitz trying to get a Dale Nearad. We got a little bit of battling going on, but at the same time, Chris, Jeff Chandler has outbroke Lane Allen into the last couple corners, and he's taking the lead, but he gets loose on the front straightaway. Can Lane Allen take it back?
It doesn't look like it at the moment, as Lane Allen was doing a little bit of tire spin himself there. These guys are being really, really aggressive here early on, and really this is the battle. This is what these guys know. Unless something pretty much unthinkable or unimaginable happens, these guys are going to be the leader here, unless this comes down to strategy. And so you don't want to let him get too far away there, Lane. You want to start to reel him back in.
Let's take a look at the replay and show you what happened. So it's after that back straightaway in this complex, and Jeff Chandler just able to drive it down in there. Doesn't have the advantage quite yet, but is able to get that car to swing out just a little bit. And Chris, he does things the hard way. He just held his line on the outside and was able to get the momentum going through the triple apex of 16, 17, or 15, 16, and 17. Lane Allen, not much he could do there.
Not at all. At that point, he didn't have the preferred line, and Chandler was able to drive it in a little bit harder, swing out wide, and take that lead pretty commandingly.
So there you go. What a race it is for the lead here. Chandler, Lane Allen, your top 2. Richie Coy is up to 3rd. He's opened up the gap to 2.5 seconds over Bobby Terrell. Terrell got about 3-second gain on Mike Watts, his teammate. Politsky is in 6th. He's kind of a no man's land. 4 seconds ahead of Tony Solari, 4 seconds behind Mike Watts. But Tony Solari in that number 74 machine continuing to gain time on these guys in front of him. We take a look at the lap times, and you see that he's gained 0.3, 1 second, half a second the last few laps. So the 74 car making some inroads toward the top 5 here.
Certainly is, wanting to get up their position away from Politsky in that number 96 machine. Still a long ways to go, but with the times like he's showing, doesn't seem like it's too far off.
Behind him, Donnie's back, and he's going to get underneath Dale Nearad and take over that position. He's been working with Dale Nearad for a few laps, lost some time, and had to gain it back, went off track back into 8th place. And Chris, you know, he's one of our road course guys, but he said you know, we heard it earlier. He said that this is one of a very tough track. That car's got some damage on the front end of it, and he has had a kind of a tough row of it, but could be just looking for a good point tonight.
At this point, that damage is only going to hurt him on the long straightaways here. The rest of the time, not too big of an issue. He's going to be able to really, that'll actually help him slow him down into the corners a little bit. So it might actually work a little bit to his advantage on the short straightaways here. A little bit of aero problem on the long straights, but that doesn't matter as long as he's able to get through the corners as quickly or quicker than other guys around him.
Exactly right. But Dale Nearad starting to come back on Donnie Staubitz. We are keeping an eye on the lead. That lead has gotten up to 1 second right now between those two drivers. But Dale Nearad right on the bumper of Donnie Staubitz through the S's right now. So the 03 and the 99 putting on a show back here. Donnie Staubitz needing every point he can get to push himself toward the top 25. Dale Nearad has already got 2 victories in the bag, and a top 10 at a road course would go a long way in solidifying his playoff position if it's not already. So a lot on the line for both these drivers. And Bobby Terrell, I looked, jumped the gun there. It said he crashed, but he just went off course. Everything's good with the 5 machine. Behind those guys, we got Kevin Rupert and Joe Flanagan. Those guys have been running 11th and 12th the whole night. Brian Helm has gotten around his teammate Bernard Persson, moved up to 13th position. Bernard Persson has got quite a bit of gap, about 7 seconds on Chad Lang in 15th. Stephen Vrooman in 16th. Wayne Grossi 17th. Casey McMullen, TJ Bartel has dropped to 19th, but still up on the race. And this is kind of where the battle is right now. Vrooman with Grossi all over the back end of him. McMullen, Bartel, Schultz, and Rob Shoemaker all in this kind of group right here, battling for 16th. Grossi going to take a look on the inside, hits the curbing. He's still going to be on the inside of Vrooman at the same time. Oh, and Grossi gets loose coming off that turn, and he's going to lose some time. Casey McMullen's going to pull ahead of him.
He certainly is, and that was a very tight corner that those guys had. Really kind of a bottleneck there because of how short the turn was there for the 7, and it really helped out Stephen Vrooman in that 00 car. Was able to get away from these guys for the moment.
Casey McMullen, our point leader, he needs all the points he can get, and he's one of those guys that he would sit here and say he's not a road racer, but he had a great night in the truck series, maybe gained some experience what to do. And of course, his teammate has gotten back to the lead, and there's so much action on the track tonight. And Mike Watts has gone off course, but he is good to go. But Lane Allen back in the lead. Let's take a look and see what happened there. So here we go. Oh, and it's coming off the back straightaway. Jeff Chandler overcooks the brakes there. So Lane Allen's going to get a better run off the corner as we jump on board the 14. And again, the same situation as before. Lane Allen, basically, this is like almost the lap 1 pass or lap 15 pass. Jeff Chandler just got loose there, and Lane Allen back to the lead.
And it'll be interesting to see how long he's able to hold it again, because Chandler is right back on him again.
These guys have been swapping the lead. At the same time, Richie Coy's been able to cut the lead down, that gap down from 14.5 seconds down to 11 seconds. And we also got Tony Solari picking off Andrew Palicki. So, and Lane Allen overcooks it at the same spot Jeff Chandler did. Chandler's going to have the advantage going into the next turn. Lane Allen's going to be there, though. Hits the rumbles, and they're not going to give. Nobody gives.
Absolutely not. Great aggressive driving out of these two, trying to make it work. I think the 31 is going to be able to get the advantage going into this corner, but man, that was some tough battling between those two.
I have never seen a course race here since I've been covering the Cup Series. It's amazing to see these guys battling back and forth. At the same time, Richie Coy has now cut that lead down under 9. It is allowing Richie Coy to kind of sniff at a potential shot at these guys. But, man, Lane Allen and Jeff Chandler putting on a show right now and not letting either of them get away from it. Yes.
They certainly do, and I can only imagine that those two are laughing inside their cars, because really it's coming down to who's going to make the fewest mistakes here while in the lead. That's the person that's going to end up winning this race.
Now, Lane Allen, for all of his road course prowess and all the opportunities that we've had FTSR has run on road courses. Now in the past, it's been Sonoma and Watkins Glen. Then the Roval was added, so only 3 chances a year to win a road course race. Lane Allen has yet to win a Cup Series race. Has been very good in the trucks, been very good in Xfinity, but he has finished second 3 times at road courses. Just can't seem to get that next step to the win in the Cup Series. And tonight he is right now running second again. I think it's got it on his mind, maybe in that long winless streak here in the Cup Series. He is all over the back of Jeff Chandler again.
He certainly is, and Richie Coy had a moment as he went off track, gave up all that time that he had been making up on these two.
Let's take a look and see what happened to Richie Coy while we have a second here. So this is coming up into turn 1, it looks like. So here we go. And yeah, he just drives it in too deep. Yeah, you can definitely tell, carrying way too much speed. Can't get that car slowed down. Does a good job to hold on to it, but definitely overdrove that corner. And Richie Coy losing 3 seconds there to those guys. He had chopped it down to 9 seconds. It's back up to 12.5 now. Looking back at some of these other drivers here, Chris, I mean, we got Jeff Chandler back in the lead, and then we have, obviously, Lane Allen in second place. But, you look through the rest of this field, Tony Solari has been the driver I've kind of been watching all night long. I mean, he has done a very wonderful job in that number 74 machine. He's actually caught up to Mike Watts in a battle for 5th place.
He certainly has, and Watts actually went off track as well, and that's what was able to help Solari in that 74 try to pull up on that gap and really try to contend for that 5th position.
And we got pit stops starting. Lane Allen going to undercut the leader. 21 laps to go. Lane Allen is on pit road. We also have a couple other drivers that have just made their stops. John Held leaving pits. Matt Geringer's left the pits. Troy Torgeson's left the pits. All those guys out of pit road. Right now we have 4 retirees: Josh Mayu, Jason Spear, Bill Benedict, and Randy McCanny all out of the race right now. Jeff Chandler continuing to lead, but Richie Coy now second on the track thanks to those pit stops, Chris. And this is what you were talking about. It's time for some strategy. I love the undercut. I always say the undercut's the thing to do, and Lane Allen's going to pull that out. Now he's got to put some good laps in.
Yeah, at this point, now you just need to go out here and do whatever you can to make up as much time, or to get as much time on Lane Allen as you possibly can. And really, at this point, he's going to, I would try to stay out as long as I possibly could, so that way he'll have the freshest tires out of these two, because that may end up being a contributing factor to the win here tonight and to a strategy hand.
Well, Jeff Chandler just put down a 2:18.6. Which is a blistering lap. He's put Rachel Hunt a lap down at this point in time. Rachel just kind of has not made a pit stop, so she is a lap down on track. But he is right now, and already Richie Coy did a 2:21 that last time, so that goes to show you just how much. Now, Richie Coy did go off track, hence why that lap time is a little bit slower. Bobby Terrell there at a 2:20. Tony Solari, second fastest on the track at a 2:19.5, but a 5.7 compared to a 5.1. Poliski at a 2:19.74. So these 3 drivers have found second gear here, and they're starting to get it going.
They certainly are, and that's getting close to their fastest lap times and for this run. So that is pretty impressive by these guys.
Jeff Chandler trying to cover off the undercut. He's going to head to pit road now. Greg Holt is on pit road as well, getting covered off. Now that's going to turn over the lead to Richie Coy if he stays out. So Richie Coy going to try to lead. Now, right now, let's go ahead and bring up our driver filters here and show you where Lane Allen is on the track compared to compared to the leader. Is right now coming onto the front straightaway. He just passed Jeff Chandler. Or Jeff Winter, I apologize. And Jeff Chandler is coming out of the pits right now. So Lane Allen's going to get pull the undercut, and he's going to get ahead of Jeff Chandler by about 3.5 seconds, Chris.
He certainly is, and that's going to be an interesting battle to see, as these two will now have to really Jeff Chandler has got to prove that he's the quicker car because he's got a lot of time to make up.
Unbelievable job by Lane Allen there to get that undercut. Richie Coy takes over the lead. Now he has not pitted. In fact, the top 5 have not pitted. Lane Allen has pitted. Joe Flanagan has not pitted. Mike Watts has come down pit road. Dale Nearad has come down pit road. Jeff Winter's service is down to completion. Mullen and Brian Helm. Chad Lang is down and away. So Chris, it's go time now. The money stops are coming, and now these guys. It's time for the pit crews to do a good job and see what these guys could do. Richie Coy locking it up, going off the back straightaway there. Bobby Terrell a little bit ways back, about 6 seconds. But these guys, the longer they stay out.
They certainly are, and we watched how the 31 lost almost 4 seconds to Lane Allen just by staying out one lap. And the sad part about that is that was a blistering lap that Chandler was able to do in that 31 car to no avail, really, Jared.
Yet what Lane Allen did, because I mean his outlap was a 2-minute 50-second lap. With the pit lane time about 47 seconds. So I think, if we did extrapolate that was probably a 2:15, 2:16 outlap that Lane Allen did if you exclude the pits. But right now, Richie Coy and Solari going to stay out. So Tony Solari, is he going to lead his first career laps in the Cup Series? It looks like he is going to do so. So Tony Solari playing the...
He certainly is. He wants that bonus point for leading the lap, and that's what he's going to get. But now the car that's going to be right in his mirror is Lane Allen in that 14 car.
Gil Gach moving aside. So Lane Allen, you can see just how far back Tony Solari was. Hasn't pitted. Now he is going to have less fuel and all that stuff, which is could be an advantage for him, but does get that bonus point for leading a lap. But Lane Allen and Jeff Chandler, Chris, 3.85 seconds is what Lane Allen was able to do to gain on that outlap. And his last lap was a 2:15.6, which was the second quickest lap of the race so far.
Incredible lap there by Lane Allen. We'll have to keep an eye on Jeff Chandler and see what his lap time is on his first lap out of the pits to see how comparable they are. But there's a lot of traffic in front of this 14.
Tony Solari going to pull aside. He's going to let Lane Allen go. I don't know if I would have done that, but I get... Oh, and John Held goes off the track in front of the leaders, hits the wall, and he's going to get it going, but that could have been bad. John Held just got out there on that painted area, and it is a little bit slick, and just lost the rear end there. And now Lane Allen back in the lead, but Jeff Chandler starting to close that gap down just a little bit, and then Lane Allen pulls it back.
Yeah, I think that right there, Jeff Chandler had to get out of it because he was worried what was happening there with Mike Held, and really that was a scary moment for him as that happened right in front of him.
Yeah, it certainly did, and John Held able to get that car going and moved in the right direction. We look at some of these other drivers. Richie Coy is about 20 seconds back of Jeff Chandler there, so the overcut might not have worked too well for him, but Mike Watts able to actually pick up a spot. He's actually able to get around Bobby Terrell by pitting or staying out one lap later than Bobby Terrell, pitting one lap earlier. So the undercut working at every instance. Now you have to wonder if Tony Solari is how much time he's going to lose with this opportunity he has. So Tony Solari predicted to come out in about 5th position, but we'll see what happens here. Right now, Lane Allen back in the lead. He's got a 3.7 second lead advantage over Jeff Chandler, who just came out of the turn number 1. Richie Coy at a time, but I think the overcut, he's actually down the way. I think the overcut might pay off pretty good for Tony Solari as he is exiting the pits, and he is going to be he's going to be in 7th place, so he lost 2 positions here, but he's going to have fresh tires, and he's going to have to do it all again as he's going to come out right alongside Palicki, and Jeff Winter, he's going to tuck in.
Man, that was just a tight little exit of pit road there by Tony Solari and that 74 machine. But you mentioned he's going to have faster tires here than these guys. It'll be interesting to see what he's able to that number 5 position that he had when he pitted. or that he held before pit stop cycle began, and maybe even improve on that position.
In that position right now is Bobby Terrell. He loses out one spot to Mike Watts' teammate, who is now Richie Coy, who has just gotten around Ralph Nolan. That's not a position on the track. But Chris, we talked about Jeff Chandler coming back. Let's take a look at the lap history chart. And Jeff Chandler come a little bit of time on Lane Allen that last time through, and that gap down to about 3 seconds now.
Man, these guys are really doing a great job here tonight. But Chandler is quickly on Lane Allen. Now, granted, he is on that first lap out, full lap out of pit road. So this will be his fast lap and pretty comparable times at the moment.
Yeah, 2:16s. Let's see what they are at the line here, and we'll bring that up for all of our viewers at home so you guys can see that. Last lap time coming across the line. Now, they do use this checkered line for the race, so it's a 2:17.03. It's the best lap of the race. 2 seconds in that lap alone, Chris, and I wonder, Lane Allen was the first driver of our lead drivers on pit road. I wonder, he's going to have to maybe save some fuel, I think. But the other thing, too, is he's going to have the oldest tires as this race dwindles down. I kind of question the decision by Lane Allen right now. But Lane's a great road racer. I don't know what's going to happen.
No idea what's going to happen, but it's going to be between these two guys, as it is 24 seconds back to Richie Coy in that 19.
Lane Allen and Jeff Chandler put on a clinic here tonight. I like racing at a road course in a long time, and right now Jeff Chandler back up. He's got his teammates out there rooting him on. Dean Doucette out there, one of our fellow broadcast mates. And right now, as we take a look at the gap, Chris, it is coming down. Jeff Chandler is now pretty much in Lane Allen's mirror. It is less than a second.
Less than a second and fresher tires. Now, we have seen Chandler make a few mistakes here coming through this section of the racetrack. We'll have to keep an eye on it to see if he does the same thing here. Looks like he's going to be pretty decent coming through this time, but man, between these two.
We switch over to our camera here, and we see from the overhead shot, Lane Allen just gets a little bit better run through this section of the track. Jeff Chandler gets in a little bit better, but Lane Allen gets off better, and sometimes that's all you need. And right now, Lane Allen just holding on to that spot here at this point. Down now up to 1 second between those two drivers, but they have put on a clinic here tonight in this race. Lane Allen started second, is now first. Jeff Chandler started first, is now second. Those are basically where they ran. But Chris, we bring up the track map, and Lane Allen coming across the start-finish line right now. Look at all these dots all the way around the track. From here on out, they're going to have lap traffic to contend with.
They certainly are, and another blistering lap there by still faster than our leader by almost a little over a second.
Yeah, 1.037 seconds he was faster than Lane Allen. Lane Allen gained a lot of time back, but he loses the time on the front part of this lap, it seems like. Let's bring up our sector times to give our viewers at home kind of what we're talking about here, because this is the battle right now, if you will, on the track. I mean, we're getting down to it, Chris.
We certainly are, and the one thing that we'll have to keep an eye on here, Chandler's clearly driving harder than Allen. Is he going to burn up his stuff and not be able to make it to the end here?
The 14 got loose coming through that little dip there right ahead of them. That's Gary Griffith. Gary is running currently in 25th position, last driver on the lead lap. And Lane Allen is got Jeff Chandler all over the back of him, coming down the back straightaway. Can Jeff Chandler outbreak the 14? He hasn't been successful yet. Will he try? Yes, he's going to look. Maybe not.
At this point, I think he knows they're coming up on this lap car, and the lap car seems to be having a little bit of connection issues here. So at this point, he may just wait until Allen has cleared this lap car and then make a safer dash for the lead.
Yeah, he's gained 0.3 in Sector 2, 1/10 in Sector 3. And I think we actually lost Gary Griffith. I don't see him on the track right now. Oh, no, he's back right in front of the leaders. Will he get out of the way? Hopefully he doesn't appear right in front of him. My goodness, I don't know where he is. That's going to make you nervous.
See him, then you know that Lane Allen can't. He's going high here, maybe staying out of the way of these leaders, but man, oh man, did that make for a nervous one.
Off in the 98. The leaders coming up against it right now. So you had a bad connection on one side and a car spinning on the grass on the other side as Torgerson got going, but well off the racing line. Chandler loses half a second in that sector 4, so Lane Allen gets around that traffic a little bit better than Jeff Chandler did.
He certainly did, but Chandler was able to get the run out of that last corner coming to the line and made up a ton of time only to lose.
Chris, I want to bring this up. Let's bring up the last lap times for all the drivers. Let's look at who the fastest driver was last time. Yeah, that's right. It's Tony Solari and Donnie Staubitz. We talked to Donnie, and Tony Solari running 2:16 flats right now, a second quicker than our leader, and Andrew Palicki not too far off as they're trying to get around James Torian down here. They're going to go 3 wide down the front straightaway here, boys. That's not going to work.
Oh, it'll work on the straightaway, but it's definitely not going to be easy going into this corner. And you can see it, all 3 of them trying to get as much room as possible to get around that corner. And give it to Nearad in that 03, able to make it work and get around there the quickest.
Nearad going to hold off Palicki and Solari for now, but those guys, the lap before, not this current lap that they just did, but the lap before, they were the fastest 3 drivers on the track along with Staubitz. So the guys that stayed out a little bit longer, they've got some speed in those vehicles, and I don't think they're going to make up 40 seconds, but something to watch for as far as finishing order for some of these drivers.
Certainly helps to be the fastest one on the track. The only problem is they're running out of time and almost 44 seconds back from our leader.
Yeah, at the same time, but you have to, at the same time, they are about Mike Watts, Richie Coy, and as you see Bobby Terrell on our screen get around his teammate or try to get around his teammate. This is going to be a battle down the back straightaway here. Bobby Terrell's going to outbrake Mike Watts going into the back straightaway, and a lap car locks up in front of him, and that always makes it precarious. That's Greg Holt that locked up the brakes.
Yeah, that was a pucker moment there for Bobby Terrell in that number 5, as that lap car just got a little bit hot into the corner. But these 2 drivers, they may be teammates, the 5 and the 3, but that doesn't mean that they're going to give up a points position for each other, and we're kind of seeing that right now.
And we are still keeping an eye on the leaders, but that battle has calmed down. It's up to 1, but we wanted to check in on some of the other battles. And right now, the battle on the track is between Nearad, Palicki, Solari, and Donnie Staubitz, who is a little bit off this group, but he's gaining on him in droves. So we're going to have a good battle on our hands for 6th position here. And Tony Solari is going to look underneath the 96 coming through turn 18.
A huge gap going, or try to underbrake the 96 there,
slow down.
But I think he got a slowdown penalty in the middle of that corner.
Yeah, Donnie Staubitz is now going to be on the tail of the 74. I thought he cut turn 20 just a little bit too sharp there, and he did. So now he's going to have to go back and try to get that time back. But Andrew Palicki doing a great job in 7th place. This is going to be a massive points night for that number 96 machine, the Looney Bin Lures. He is doing a heck of a job, and he's done a heck of a job all week in the road courses. But right now, that's our battle on the track. 6th, 7th, 8th, and 9th into this battle in 10th. So the last half of the top 10, Chris, well up for grabs.
It certainly is. For a moment there, we had a battle for the lead, and Chandler not overdrive a corner, but they are nose to tail again.
Chandler just doing so much better in this slow, windy section. What I call the back end in the first sector, 3/10 in the second sector. The third sector, which is mostly the straightaways, they're pretty much even. And now Jeff Chandler is there right on the back of Lane Allen. Look out the back.
Really just able to get through these corners a little bit quicker than our leader, but then as soon as we get into the long sweeping corners, Allen takes the lead again. Time on him.
All over. I mean, these guys have been inseparable tonight. I mean, I said before, as they go around Matt Geringer, who's going to get out of the way there. I haven't seen too many races that I've covered where on a road course where the guy door action, no contact between these drivers. Neither of them have an incident in this race, so that includes off track. So good job there. But no contact, but door-to-door racing, and Jeff Chandler is all over there. Lane Allen wants this win. Like I said, has not won a Cup Series race despite being a bridesmaid 3 times on road courses in his career. And Jeff Chandler just needs all the points he can get before the playoffs start to try to get himself into the playoffs.
And you can see Chandler's doing everything he can get up to Allen coming through that last corner of the S's there. He overdrove pretty substantially, but was able to use that to his advantage in the next corner and going into this hairpin.
They're there now. We don't want to lead this battle, but Poliski and Dale Nearad are battling. Tony Solari, we'll check in on that here in just a second. So there it is. All three of those drivers nose to tail through the S's. And I mean, you can't even put a paper through between these drivers. But we'll check in on that battle in just a second. We want to see how this transpires between our race leaders going down the back straightaway. Lane Allen holding on to the lead. Jeff Chandler, is he just waiting and biding his time right now, Chris?
I don't know that he's biding his time. He's just waiting for the 14 to make a mistake and make it easier on him. These guys are both really, really good here tonight. And at this point, you know, we talked a little bit about it. Chandler was driving incredibly hard those first few laps after the pits. So he could have overused his tires a little bit. And so he's got to back off, let them cool off. And that's when we see Lane Allen gain that about a second lead over him. And now he's making that charge back up here to try to get the lead. But Allen's not making it easy by no means.
Usually at a road course, we can tell you this driver led the most laps, this driver had the fastest lap, and it's not usually a competition. Tonight, I don't know who's led the most laps. Right now, Lane Allen is a 3/10 slower on the best lap than Jeff Chandler, so that's very close. They're the only two drivers to dip into the low 215s. Actually, the only two drivers in the 215s at all. Man, I don't know what to say. This has been an amazing race so far. And Lane Allen, I just know how thirsty he is for a win because this could solidify a playoff spot for him. Jeff Chandler's going to look on the outside going to the S's. This isn't really a passing zone. And Jeff Chandler, is he going to get some room through here? This is a gamble. They're going to go side through the S's. Hey, he's going to hit it. Oh, no, they hit the turtle. That was never going to work for either of those drivers, and that is no good. As Lane Allen clips the turtle, and he's going to lose a ton of time.
He certainly is, and Chandler got a slowdown penalty because of that. So really, it really hurt both of those drivers, and you know that's not exactly how these guys wanted to take the lead and get away from one another. So now it'll be up to Allen to make up that time to catch back up to Chandler.
Yeah, that's a difficult place to pass in open wheel cars, sports cars. It's almost an impossible passing zone right there. So let's take a look and see what happened again. The angle we had wasn't the greatest. So let's see if we can get a better look at this. So here they go. And Lane Allen just on the inside there. And he had two choices. He could either slow down and lose that position completely, or he could go on the inside and get a cut course penalty. And man, tough break for Lane Allen. Can he get that time back? It's now 6-second difference.
It's certainly already a little bit quicker than Allen. So now the tables.
Oh, and Lane Allen spun it. Almost spun it. Sorry, Chris, go ahead.
He definitely did there. But that's a product of him now knowing that he's got to do whatever he can to make up this time. And man, he is still getting sideways coming out of the corners.
Yeah, he is. And the other thing, too, is he might have cooked those rear tires when he gassed it around to spin back around to get it. And he has lost a ton of time on that lap. And I feel bad for both those drivers because Lane Allen's really loose. He can't hold on to it. That car, he has cooked the rear tires. He's going to have to slow down. He's going to the pits, Chris. He knows he's cooked it.
Yeah, he certainly has. So now what he's going to do is hopefully get in here, get 4 fresh Goodyears, and make up as much time as he can. Probably not going to get the win here tonight unless Chandler makes a mistake. But really, this is going to be just to kind of maintain his position because he's kind of got a big gap here to the cars behind him.
Yeah, so that's going to be about 25-second gap for Lane Allen. Lane Allen's projected to come out in about 10th position. So Richie Coy moves to second, Bobby Terrell to third, Mike Watts fourth. And our big gaggle battle, Dale Nearad, Andrew Poliski, Donnie Staubach, Jeff Winter, and Tony Solari all under a blanket here. That's now a battle for the last spot in the top 5. Solari looking underneath Poliski for sixth position. Solari in the 74. He's going to get down in there. Can't quite make the move there.
He certainly can, just not able to get into the gas as quickly as that 96 car. But Tony Solar, he's right there, man. He's just got to get by 2 cars to be able to be where he was before that green flag pit stop sequence. And he's got fresher tires than the guys that he's racing around.
He just needs to bide his time and be patient on the gas. And at the same time, you know, a good points night is coming his way if he can just keep this thing on the track for 11 more laps. Lane Allen back on the track. He's going to come out in 9th spot. So he's going to come out right in the thick of this battle. So we have, again, a 5-car battle for 5th place. Unbelievable tonight.
He actually came out in 10th, Jared, and he went to work immediately getting around Jeff Winter. And he is just doing, he's going to be aggressive at all costs at this point.
Hop the curb, and you got to be careful. Some of these curbs will give you a time cut penalty. That one didn't, so he's going to get a tow down this back straightaway from the lap car of Gil Gach. That's going to help him out tremendously here. And man, this is some great action on the track right now. That's our only battle on the track. Richie Coy 5 seconds to Terrell 3 seconds to Watts. So we're focusing in on the battle for 5th place, which includes 5 drivers right now. Oh, and Dale, what a move by Poliski. He drove it underneath of there. Dale Nerad's going to have to yield the position, and Solari's going to take advantage.
He certainly is, and man, what a great battle between these guys. And every one of them is going as hard as they possibly can as we're here with 10 laps to go.
And that was a move. Poliski threw it down in there, did a very good job of holding on to that 96 machine. Dale Nerad just couldn't quite get back down there, couldn't close the hole in time. But now Solari and Poliski have gotten around Dale Nerad. Donnie Staubitz, who is now his teammate Lane Allen, right on his bumper with all those fresh tires. Solari locks up. My goodness, this is going to be a battle to the end for these drivers.
And you can see Allen is doing everything he can to get around Donnie Staubitz as he's going to dive to the inside here going into 1.
And Staubitz is going to let him go. It looked like Staubitz let off the gas, knowing Lane Allen's on much, much fresher tires. And Allen's going to move back up into 8th spot. But I'm not biased, but man, I feel bad for Lane Allen at the end of the day. He was having such a great race. And it's difficult when something like that happens, and he's just trying to get all the back of Dale Nerad. He is not going down without a fight, that's for sure.
Nope, he certainly isn't. He's going to do everything he can to regain as much of those positions as he can. A possibility to say that he could end up with a top 5 here easily.
Definitely a top 5. I mean, he is now 2 cars behind 5th place, so he's got Solari and Poliski there next. He is about, by my data, he is 9 seconds behind Mike Watt, 7 seconds behind for 3rd, a podium finish. So Lane Allen coming down, and he is giving everything he can. But right now, right in front of him, Solari looking on down the back straightaway.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what happens here for Allen if he's able to make it back the speed charts for him to make it back up to at least 3rd position here. And we're still at 10 laps to go. I mean, this is a huge track. A lot of different places where you can make up time.
Yeah, just clicked over to 9 laps to go. Chandler just crossing the start-finish line there. Richie Coy just now going across the line. So that kind of gives you an idea of where we're at on the track. Poliski holding on to 5th place. Solari in 6th. He's our hard charger of the race, up 13 spots. But Lane Allen giving it everything right now. He's on the back of the 74 and sliding that machine. That car is turn 19, and he's going to take 6th spot from Tony Solari.
What good, clean racing by these two, as you could see sideways trying to get around there, able to make it work. And now he's already on the back of Policky in that 96.
Poliski, it's only a matter of time. Lane Allen's going to... And there he goes. Lane Allen's going to take over the spot. So he's back to 5th, Chris. 9 seconds behind Mike Watts.
He certainly is, and we'll have to keep an eye on that. And, man, there is just some heavy battling all over the track now between the 74 and the 03. Now that, guys, they're really duking it out behind them.
Yeah, we got Poliski, Solari, Nerad, and Staubitz all in this group, and also Jeff Winter just on. They are about 16 seconds ahead of 11th place. So the battle for basically 6th position now heating up, and it's basically been scorching the entire race. Somebody's off. Is that Lane Allen? It's Lane Allen.
It is Lane Allen. As he was trying to get through that corner as quickly as he could, he just got really, really loose in the bump there. Man, what a heartbreaking moment for Lane Allen.
Let's watch this again, and I think I know. Yeah, it's that little dip, and that can catch you out. He gets a little bit loose coming up over the hill, and I think he just tried to carry too much speed. Yeah, he did, and spins it. Light contact with the Armco barrier, but man, he's going to have to do it all over again to get back to fifth.
He certainly is. Now, he didn't hit it too hard there, so it's not too much damage to that 14 machine. And actually, what set that up, Jared, is he actually was sliding going out of that corner before that dip. And so he was trying when he got to the dip, and that's what got him sideways. He just could not catch it at that point.
Poliski, thanks to that little spin off by Lane Allen, just kind of caught the other drivers behind him out just a little bit. You know, you have to be careful. You don't know if he's going to bounce back onto the track or anything like that. But Poliski was able to gain some time on Tony Solari. Solari's starting to eat it back, but Chris, we still for fifth position here with 8 laps to go at Circuit of the Americas.
Certainly a battle here between these guys. And Jared, I'm be on a battle here in the top 5.
Yeah, and you look at Poliski, he's outside of the top 25 in points. Solari's outside the top 25 in points. These are huge points for all these driving points. Jeff Winter and Lane Allen, and Dale Nearad are in the top 10 in points, right, or top 15 in points right now. But they still could use the points, don't get me wrong. These guys battling very hard because they have an opportunity to lock themselves in. We have some big tracks coming up like Charlotte, and that could always draw a large field, huge, and these guys battling. And not to mention, for the kind of season that Poliski and Solari and Staubitz have had, where they haven't had great runs, a top 5 arm you need moving forward. As we look again, Andrew Poliski, Solari, Nearad, and Staubitz and Winter all under a blanket right now. Oh, and Solari's going to try to outbrake him going on the back straightaway.
Does it with a little help to that lap car there. That just made things all that more difficult as Politsky in that 96 had to check up for the lap car, I believe, and that's what gave Solari the opportunity to get underneath him.
And Poliski, I mean, you know, he had a little extra motivation. He's a Texan. I don't know if he's a native or not, but he goes to the races. Nearad tried to slide it down in there, having to check up for Poliski. But you know, there's a little extra incentive when it's your home racetrack, one of your home racetracks now, Circuit of the Americas and Texas Motor Speedway. So Poliski giving the hometown crowd a show here tonight at Circuit of the Americas, trying to come back on Solari. These guys are not giving up, trying to go for it in every zone possible, even if they're not passing zones.
They certainly are. These guys got to be careful before one of them ends up in the Armco barrier. These guys.
And we are on lap 31. This battle has been going on since lap 0. It's been the whole race between these drivers for the most part. Very intense battling here. Do have a couple more drivers that have retired from the race. Looks like Ralph Nolan and vehicles to garage with damage. Also, Greg Holt is out of the race as well. Rachel Hunt on pit road, or has just exited pit road. She is in 29th. So 29 drivers. But right now, this battle for 5th place still heating up as Andrew Poliski tries to outbrake Solari, gain a little bit of time back there in turn 1.
They just cannot get away from one another, and it's providing some very excellent entertainment here at Circuit of the Americas. But man, these guys, this is just incredible racing, Jared.
Yeah, who says road courses don't put on good racing? This is, I have to say, I'm pleased and excited at the same time because this is a heck of a battle. We are keeping an eye on the lead. Richie Coy has taken that lead down 9 seconds when he came out of pits, but I don't believe that he's going to be able to get there by any stretch of the imagination. But that gap is 22 seconds. But the battle on the track is between Poliski, Nearad, 5th through 10th under a blanket. Tony Solari locks up the brakes a little bit, and Poliski tried to look underneath, can't quite get it done.
Man, these guys are all just taking a little bit different line from one another on the track, and really it just makes everything seem that much more exciting as they're able to get right there within touching distance of one another in the corners.
And I don't want to be remiss to watch some other battles. Casey Mullen just got around Chad Lang. That was a good battle for a while. A little bit further back, Wayne Grossi, TJ Bartel, those are teammates. They've been battling. But this is the battle on the track as we kind of take a brief look at those other battles. Right now on the track, it's Solari, Poliski, Nearad, Staubitz, Allen, and Winter. Allen has gotten back around Jeff Winter, so he is trying to close back up. 6 laps to go as Jeff Chandler has just crossed the line. catch our breath for a second, but here Solari leading this group of traffic, but ahead of him is Mike Watts. He's 10 seconds to the good, kind of in no man's land. We haven't talked a lot about Mike tonight, but having a great run. This will be his best career finish in full throttle sim racing. So good job for Mike if he can hold on to that position. Bobby Terrell on the podium right now, but he, again, in no man, Richie Coy, 5 seconds behind Mike Watts. Right now, Solari in 5th, Poliski, Nearad, Staubitz, Allen, and Winter, your top 10. Outside of the top 10, it's Rupert race as well. Flanagan starting to make some inroads to Kevin Rupert, and let's see if he can get another position here in that part-time schedule that he's running in that 53 for Fury Motorsports. And then 13th is Brian Helm. He's 2 seconds ahead of his teammate. Bernard is gaining on both of them, so we might have a little bit of a battle on our hands there we'll have to keep an eye on.
Certainly a bunch of drivers here have fun despite it being the road course and being a little bit more tricky track. And then, of course, a few others having a little bit of bad luck here tonight. But really throughout the entire top half of this field.
And you look a little bit further back, Rob Shoemaker in 21st. Tracy Powers holding on in 22nd. Geringer in 20th. Just ahead of our second place driver, Richie Coy. Troy Torgerson, we've seen him off the track. He doesn't like road courses. He'll be the first to admit it, but he is persevering, keeping that number 98 on the track. He is in 25th position with some damage. Gil Gawk also still out there with Geezer's Garage. He is in 26th, just ahead of John Held, so that could be a battle here. In James Torrey by himself, having a good night in 28th position, getting some good points that he's going to need moving forward in this Cup Series. But right now, it's the Jeff Chandler show. 2.5 second lead as we check back in on the battle for 5th place. And it's still nose to tail. Lane Allen, though, looking on the outside of Dale Nearad. Allen's going to make that pass, so move Lane Allen up to 7th. And now Donnie Staubitz trying to take advantage, can't quite get there.
He certainly can, and now only 2 positions out of 5th place. So still not out of the realm of possibility to get a top 5 here tonight.
5 laps to go at Circuit of the American Laps tonight, and we believe everybody can make it on fuel at this point in time. But man, Lane Allen's definitely put on a show tonight. I think you would, wherever he finishes, because he had a chance at a victory tonight, and or not leading, sorry, he is in this group chasing down Andrew Poliski and Tony Solari. That is where our battle is on the track, and that's where we're going to continue to focus. But Chris, this 5-driver group has actually made about 2 seconds on Mike Watts in the last couple laps here, so it's not out of the realm of possibility if they keep clicking off some good lap times soon.
It certainly could, and these guys are really doing everything they can. They've kind of calmed down as far as battling each other here so they can make up the time on. Really, that's what it was coming down to. They were just battling each other rather than trying to make up time, and now they've kind of calmed down a little bit. Like
I said before, this is huge for some of these drivers to get a top 5. And everybody wants a top 5. Everybody wants a win, but a top 5 had a bad season. And it's doing such a great job by these drivers. I can't say enough about Poliski and Solari. Staubitz up there as well. I'm a little bit surprised about Solari and Poliski. I mean, Solari is a road background driver. He does very good on road, but Poliski has kind of come out of nowhere over the past few days. He's finished in the top 10 3 times this year, but looking for a top 5 finish for the first time.
Yeah, these guys really are putting on kind of an impressive point showing here. You know, we talk about these guys being road course drivers, and usually that helps them out. Well, the difference is that these aren't road course cars, Jared. These are big stock cars. They are going around here a little bit differently, not just the way that the speed that these cars are handling, but man, this is I think it's a 3,400-pound car. The tight turns here at Cota.
Yeah, exactly right. These are not road course cars. They are difficult to drive, and boy, oh boy, they are really doing a great job. Spread out just a little bit, Chris, like you were saying earlier. Now, Mike Watts, that gap is still coming down. It's down to 7 seconds. Now, again, I think it's going to be extremely, but it is coming down. And again, Tony Solari has the freshest tires of everybody except Lane Allen, who has probably used up some of the life on those tires with that off track he had. But you know, the gap is still coming down. It's under up to 6.5 second roads here.
He certainly is, and Mike Watts actually has had a couple off roads in the last few laps here, just trying to keep that thing going in the right direction. You know, trying to use as much of the track as possible, and sometimes the edge.
Yeah, exactly. And oh, Solari's going to go wide. That's going to cost him some time. Poliski's not going to gain too much on him, but this is actually going to help Solari down the back straightaway because he's able to get a wider entrance and get a little bit more speed. But Mike Watts going to pull away now, and I think that might end the slim chances of a fourth place finish for Tony Solari right now, as he is going to have to cover him. Oh, he goes wide again. Well, no, not quite. I think that's all right. And now Lane Allen back in this mix, and these guys, these five drivers have put on a show tonight. Very, very good. Solari, Poliski, Allen, Nearad, Staubitz, and Winter. I don't think any of them were probably expecting to race like this on a road course.
No, not at all. I mean, and that's just, it's the key to having a good race here, just being consistent, not necessarily being fast, but these guys have really kind of kept their momentum the same throughout those consistent lap times has been able to keep them up in this battle in the top 10 here for a great points night for some of these guys.
3 to go. Chandler has crossed the line. Now the gap is down to 20 seconds between Chandler and Richie Coy. So unless a miracle happens, Richie Coy's been running 2 seconds quicker than Jeff Chandler a lap, but you know, Jeff Chandler, he doesn't need to push it. No reason to push it. No reason to hit the throttle and put down big laps. Richie Coy, he still has an opportunity. He's been, and Tony Solari loose off the turn 1 exit, man. And so is Poliski. And Lane Allen's going to take advantage and get around that 96 car.
He's certainly able to pretty easily there with a little bit of help. And it was kind of like the 96 was just following the 74 there. They both pretty much did the same thing, Jared.
Yeah, they did. And right now, Lane Allen is now going to put the pressure on Tony Solari. That is a battle for 5th place, and he's already caught up to the back bumper of the 74 machine. And I think Lane Allen is definitely a top 5 car. Tony Solari could have been a top 5 car tonight, I think. Locks it up going on the back straightaway, and Lane Allen is going to pounce at this point in time. And I'm just impressed with the amount of great driving we've seen out here tonight and incredible racing between so many drivers that don't do road courses very often. So it's even more impressive when you think of it like that.
Man, what a incredible battle here as it looks like Lane Allen is going to try to peek under the 74 of Tony Solari and really go on the outside to make it in this little bus stop area here, and side by side still, but he's going to get the advantage coming out of the corner.
Lane Allen move him up to 5th. Solari, though, has to get on the brakes. Poliski, I don't think, whoa, my goodness, these guys, you can't hardly, I mean, they are literally under a blanket from 5th to 10th place at a road course. This isn't.
This was a battle for 5th. You would think this is a battle for the win.
They're still battling door to door. Poliski, it's 2 laps to go, so Solari on the inside. He's going to be able to hold on to that position. Now Dale Nearad's back in this mix. Donnie Staubitz is there waiting for his turn. Little lockup out of the 7 more times around the track, Chris. I don't know if they can.
Well, they're definitely going to do everything they can to make it around here. But, man, this is incredible.
And there it is again. Now Poliski going to look underneath Dale Nearad. That's a battle for 7th place. Nearad's going to have to gets the throttle down. He actually holds off the 96.
He certainly does. And they were going into the S's here. And we've already seen what happens if you go side by side through here earlier. We don't want a repeat of that.
No, we don't. But, man, Dale Nearad able to make the move. Now Poliski's got Donnie Staubitz all over the back bumper of that number 96 machine. Jeff Winter is there, and now it's go time. Jeff Winter, I think, was kind of biding his time, didn't want to get involved in the battle. He's like, you guys fight it out, use your stuff up. But now Jeff Winter's like, I need these positions. Let's go. He might be a factor.
And these guys are just having all kinds of fun as they're doing everything they possibly can to gain positions here. And Staubitz in that 00 car is just really doing everything he can. And actually, that's double the 99, is it not?
That's the 99, yeah. So we got the 74, the 03, the 96, the 99, and the 30. That's Solari, Neerad, Poliski, Staubitz, and Winter. Lane Allen has kind of checked out of this battle. And Mike Watts is only about 4 seconds ahead of this group. So Mike Watts really struggling. He is actually can see Lane Allen in his rearview mirror. Lane Allen might get to Mike Watts for 4th place. He locks it up going into that turn 14 there. And now going into turn 15, Lane Allen is in the mirrors.
He's certainly in the mirror, Jared, but that's still 4-second gap between those two drivers. I just don't see that he's going to be able to make that up in 1 lap.
Probably not in 1 lap, but I think if he hadn't made that one mistake on the fresh tires, he would definitely have been the 4th place driver. Gary Griffith going to get out of the way here, I think. And he does, so Lane Allen, no issues there. And that gap is at the line. Chris, it's 3 seconds between those drivers. He gained 2 seconds on that lap.
Well, he heard me say that that it may not be possible, so he's going to be bound and determined to prove me wrong, and I am A-okay with that.
Oh, Watts locks it up into turn 1. That's going to help Lane Allen get there. And behind him, Solari is going to get around Gary Griffith, who gets out of the way of this group. But now Mike Watts, a little bit of pressure. He's stuck behind Matt Gehringer through the S's now. A lap car, he couldn't get the move done. He actually passed Gehringer, locked it up, and Gehringer got back around him. Now he's going to have to follow Gehringer all the way around, probably to the back straightaway. No, he's going to make a move.
Levin's going to get out of the way here and let him go by, but still, he lost a lot of time on Allen, as that is now just
1
over
second.
1 second.
And we're focusing it on this battle because this is the battle on the track. Lane Allen, not a passing zone there. Gehringer will get out of the way here. He does get out of the way. That is a 1 second gap between the 4th and 5th place drivers. And yeah, Tony Solari is only 2 seconds behind this. So if something happens here, he could pounce on a 4th place finish here. But up front, coming out into the last few turns, we're going to give Jeff Chandler his due. He gets it done tonight with an amazing battle between him and Lane Allen here tonight. He's going to take it easy through the 15, 16, 17 complex, and he's going to come through turn 18 now, and he's going to take his 2nd victory of the season. Jeff Chandler coming off turn 18, down to turn 20, and Jeff Chandler will grab the checker flag for his 2nd victory here at Full Throttle Sim Racing and help his playoff chances here with his first road course win of 2021. Let's focus back in on that battle. Mike Watts has gone wide and Lane Allen's around him. And now, Chris, Tony Solari, can he catch up to him?
If he's going to, it's going to be a tight battle as we're coming to these last couple of corners. But man, what a great run from these guys. And Tony Solari still got a lap car right behind him, in between him and Del Neerad, kind of helping him out. Man, just incredible racing here tonight.
Richie Coy will grab 2nd. Terrell across the line in 3rd. Lane Allen will hit the gas. He's going to grab 4th place. Mike Watts will hold on to 5th. But man, Solari was coming. He's going to get 6th, his best finish of the season, or 2nd best finish of the season. Neerad 7th. Staubitz 8th. Jeff Winter 9th. And Andrew Poliski, kind of the loser of that battle. He's going to drop all the way to 10th in his home race. Further back, Kevin Rupert holding on right now to 11th. He has opened up the gap on Joe Flanagan, who is in 12th. Those guys making their way around the track right now as some of the final drivers come across the line. Chris, we look further back. Give these guys some dues here. Brian Helm in 13th position. Kenneth Schultz trying to chase him down. This could be a battle for 13th here, as Schultz had to start at the very end of the field and has just now gotten back to where he started this race at. Don't think Schultz is going to be able to get done as they come around the pit entrance here. Schultz is there, but I think he needed one more lap, and Brian Helm is going to hold on to 13th position over the 91. Bernard Person's going to come home 15th as he comes across the line. Casey Mullins 16th. Chad Lang is going to come home 17th right now, but Wayne Grossi is catching him. TJ Bartel in 18th, and Rob Shoemaker will get TJ Bartel, the last driver on the lead lap. Shoemaker, Vrooman, Powers, Gehringer, Griffith, Torgerson, Held, Gach, and Torrey, along with Rachel Hunt, your final running order. TJ Bartel, the last driver to cross the line here tonight.
Man, what an incredible amount of racing that we had here. I mean, really, Jared, it was a impressive showing by a bunch of different drivers who really don't necessarily call themselves road course regulars.
This was an A-plus race. These guys did a heck of a job. As you see TJ Bartel come across the line, he'll be the last finisher of the night in 19th position. But hats off to Jeff Chandler. He's finally made it around to the start-finish line to do his celebratory burnouts, his second victory of the year, and Jeff Chandler is going to get it done here at Circuit of the Americas, holding off Richie Coy and Bobby Terrell and a late charging Lane Allen to pick up his second win. We'll have to see what that does for the points. But real quick, we're going to take a quick commercial break, come back, recap the race, hear from our top three finishers, and preview next week's longest race at Charlotte Motor Speedway. All right, we are back here at Circuit of the Americas, where Jeff Chandler holds on to win, grabbing his second victory of the season here in the Full Throttle Sim Racing Dark Matter Designs Cup Series. Chris, let's take a look real quick at our points standings here, and as we bring those up, right now, Bobby Terrell taking over the point lead by 3 points over Case McMullen unofficially. Nearad remains in third. Coy and Torgerson swap positions. But even more importantly, Lane Allen up into the top 10. He moves up to 8th spot with a solid 4th place run. Jeff Chandler just on the outside of the top 25 now after his run tonight. And you look at some of these other drivers through here. Tony Solari with a good run. He moves into the top 30 in points as well.
Every bit just a little bit closer to that 25th place in points, guaranteeing their position in the field. Man, and what a great night for those drivers.
Sure was.
Yeah, Jared, it was pretty uneventful. I mean, yes, I am tired, very tired. Um, yeah, I mean, I was, I mean, I'm not considered, I don't consider myself a road guy, but I mean, I did okay. But I mean, I'll take it. I mean, I think I was gifted third, but I don't think we had anything for Lane or Jeff, either one. So it was just me and Richie was racing for third and fourth, basically, is what was going on there. So, and then that was fun because me and Richie always have fun together. Yeah, me and Mike, we had a battle there. It was a, you know, he had a little bit of damage on his left front, I think, from hitting, like one of those stops or something. But I don't think it affected him any at all. I really tried to, like the first run, I think I used up a little more than I wanted to, and then the second run, I was really taking it easy, just trying to save my stuff a little better at the end, and it actually worked. Of course, the track temperature went down too, and that helped a little bit. But uh, I just looking at my tire where I was able to save a little better.
Well, Bobby, you got Cota, Circuit of the Americas that's down and dusted. We're going to go to Charlotte next week in all three series, but then it's back to a road course again in the Cup Series at Sonoma before the All Star race. I mean, that's first time. I mean, typically, in the past, NASCAR's only had 2, 3 road courses, maybe 4 road courses on schedule, but now we have them very close together. Does that change your preparation at all going into Charlotte? Does that make that track more important? Does it make it less important? Are you excited for Sonoma in 2 weeks, or are you hoping to get done with the road course as quick as possible?
I think you know the answer to that one. uh, you know, I enjoy the road courses. It's just they're just a lot of work. It just takes a lot more to learn the tracks and stuff, where it doesn't take as much to figure out the ovals, to figure out your line, what setup you have, and it just seems like to me it just takes so long to get the track down, get your braking points down, get your shifting points down. Like I said, uh, practiced in the trucks quite a bit. I didn't practice any in the Xfinity car, and then I practiced in this one a little bit, and it paid off. I mean, I was happy. I really like the track. I mean, I know a lot of people don't like it, but I think it's got good rhythm. It flows good. I like the up and downs. It was just to me, it's just a fun track. Well, I mean, I try to get as much as I can every race, but you also have to be smart. And I have gambled a little bit on different pit cycles and stuff like that because I know I'm locked in, just trying different things. But like I said, I mean, we all want to win, so that's the ultimate goal. Thanks a lot, Jared. I appreciate it. I'd like to thank Dark Matter Designs for sponsoring the series and giving us such a great series to race in. Um, all the league admins for everything they do. You guys up in the booth, like I said, it it it's really good. Uh, Commentating's good. You guys do a good job. Shout out to my teammates for working on the setup this week. I don't consider myself a road guy, and they have gone beyond helping me, getting setups to me to run and to be competitive every week. So I can't say enough to those guys.
Richie Coy in this number 19 machine, man. Richie, this is a difficult racetrack, and you're able to bring it home on that second position here. Take us through your race and how it developed.
Well, it's this is one of the toughest tracks that I think one of the toughest road courses we get to run on. And when I first started out, we ran. This is our third race here this week, and when I started out, I didn't particularly care for the track so much, and it's starting to grow on me a bit. This is my second, and third top three in the series. So we're holding on. My race was just holding on.
Well, you're certainly able to do that. What do you think it took to get up there to be able to contend with Jeff Chandler and kind of really with Lane Allen there for the win here tonight?
Traction control. I have no correct traction control. My team won't get me traction control. Honestly, I don't know. I'm not really a road race guy, so I'm running the laps and I'm trying to stay on the racetrack. Jared has tried to teach me, and he's a great coach on these road courses. But when it comes down to the race, it kind of goes all out the window, and all I'm doing is just trying to stay on the racetrack.
Well, you were certainly able to do it here tonight, man. This was a pretty incredible race. I mean, you're talking about staying on the track here. There were only 3 instances where you actually went off the racing surface at all here tonight in this 19 machine. So kudos to you for being able to get it done. Seems like you're certainly teachable, and Jared's gotten a lot through to this number 19 team. We're heading to another difficult track, not just because of the circuit itself, but the length coming up next week at Charlotte, one of the longest race on the schedule. What can we expect out of this number 19 team when we get there?
Well, we're gonna be going for the win. We should be running pretty good. We have a pretty good mile and a half set up. We've run pretty good at the couple of tracks that we've run so far with the miles and a halves, and I hope to continue that. My team puts a lot of support in behind us, and Tony and Jared and Randy and Brody. They all give us, we all work together and do, work well, trying to get our setups working. And we're going to do the same thing we do every race. We're going to try to win it.
Absolutely. And take a minute here to thank those that get you to and from the virtual track.
Well, it's the team Fury Motorsports and our partners with Take Two and some of the other Ford Alliance that we deal with. Again, everybody works really hard trying to get these setups together. And my setup guy tonight gave us a really good hot rod. I know Tony finished, I think, sixth. So kudos for him. He had a great race, and some of our other Alliance guys had some good races tonight. And it's a team effort, and we're going to try to continue to roll on with that.
Absolutely, and we'll be watching for this 19 bunch to potentially back up this finish with another top 3 at Charlotte.
Thank you, sir.
All right, Jared, you have made your way down to victory lane there with the guy that seemed to have made this place look easy here tonight in that number 31 machine.
Yeah, I'm down here in victory lane with Jeff Chandler, and this I finally realized it's not a boxer that's driving that car. For the longest time, I thought Jeff Chandler was a boxer, but it looks like it's a real guy. Congratulations, Jeff, on the victory.
Man, thanks, guys. I appreciate it. And it's like I was telling Bobby and Richie, like if you'd have told me I would win this race at the beginning of the night, I would have had y'all drug tested.
Well, Jeff, take us through your race. So you started on pole, and you led, I think, the first 8 laps. Lane Allen starts putting some pressure on you, and you guys battled for pretty much the entire race. Take us through the battling with Lane Allen, the pit strategy that came in. Lane Allen did the undercut, opened up a 3-second lead, and then you came back on him. And, of course, unfortunately, a little contact between you guys as well because it looked like Lane may have hit the turtle. But, my goodness, I have to say, just honestly, some of the best road course racing I have ever covered in the broadcast booth between you guys tonight.
Well, I'll tell you that I said the same thing. I was like, that was as much fun as I've ever had racing with anybody. And I hated what happened. It just killed me because I certainly didn't want it that way. But once he pitted, I knew I had to pit the next lap. I couldn't let him get, I knew he was, he was fast. Mine took a little while to come in, and I made a lot of mistakes. And he made a lot less mistakes than I did. I was able to capitalize on that last mistake he made at the top of the hill. He went a little wide, and I got under him, and that's why we were side by side in the S's. But I hate it. I really hated that we made contact. But it was epic. It was that was as hard as I've ever driven, I think, in my iRacing career. It was awesome.
Well, we were saying in the booth, and there were some other great battles on the track as well if you go back and watch it, but we were saying in the booth tonight, I mean, I don't know if I've ever seen 2 guys race as hard as you guys did and not make any contact, unfortunately, until the end there, but I think that was more of a product of the placement of those turtles than the racing itself. But my goodness, Jeff, I mean, what a race it was. You grabbed your second victory of the year. That's going to move you up almost back into the top 25. Now I know you're racing, every other week or so, and which means I don't think you're going to be at Charlotte next week. Is that correct?
Yes, and man, I can't even tell you. I said because 1.5 tracks are my go-to thing. That's but Jeff and Greg will be. Um, we've got a really good set for that, and man, if I had a few extra days of vacation, I'm gonna probably take one because I really love 1.5 tracks. That's my go-to thing. My next one will be Sonoma, and I'm not even sure I'm ready for that.
Sonoma is a totally different animal. I mean, we talk about Circuit of the Americas being an animal, but Sonoma, it's a familiar animal, and sometimes that can be even worse. But what kind of expectations? I mean, you got to say I got to say you're probably one of the favorites. I mean, I didn't know you're a road course guy, and you won tonight. I mean, you're not looking forward to Sonoma?
Well, I, I'll tell you, I don't think I'm a better road racer than most of these guys. I think I just out practiced them this week. I was prepared. I think that's what it's going to take for me to do well in Sonoma. But Sonoma just drives totally different. It's not like this track at all. You might be able to use the setup. You wouldn't believe where this setup even came from. It's actually a modified Martinsville setup.
Doesn't surprise me too much at all. Short tracks and road courses drive very similar, Jeff, but you got the job done. You move back on the cusp with the top 25, unofficially up to 26th position, Jeff. So congratulations on your second victory. What a show you guys put on, you and Lane Allen tonight. I'm going to turn it over to you, bud, and let you have the last word tonight. And congratulations on your second career win.
Well, thank you very much. Thanks to you guys too. Full Throttle Sim Racing is just the best league I've ever been a part of. Definitely want to thank my teammate Jeff. We worked hard all week, and Greg. He just came on board, and we really struggled at first, and kind of brought things together. But just thank you guys for the broadcast. I watch everyone, even the ones I don't. I watch it from work when I'm at work. Rooting on my teammates. So fantastic job you guys do, and this league is second to none. That's my buddy right there. That's Oscar, and he's kind of the dog I have always wanted my whole life, and it took me 57 years to find him. But me and him are big time pals, and I just thought it would be funny to put his face up there and get some conversation going. Thanks so much. I appreciate it, Jared, Chris. Good job.
We go from a brand new long road course to the longest race of the season, the 300 miler at Charlotte, 200 laps around a 1.5 mile track. That track going to be a lot of attrition in that race, but much like this track, there's going to be some survival involved as well.
Absolutely. Unlike the race here tonight, that race will be apt to have cautions bunching guys up, and it being the longest race on the schedule. It's really about making it to those final 20-30 laps to be able to battle for the win. It's going to be a crazy one just to get to that point, let alone be there at the end. So it'll be a great race to watch next week.